Hello everyone and welcome to question 52 of the Q&A series. Do you think that there are some instruments that suit certain people better than others? In the sense that certain instruments were made for that person, figuratively speaking. Technically I guess yes, but please don't take too much notice of what I'm about to say because a lot of this is probably very stereotypical and just based on things that I've noted in my life and how, people see musicians, I guess. So I do not want this to be a thing that carries on. This shouldn't apply, but this is me sort of saying how it was and I guess still is and how it should not be in the future. Of course there are some physical limitations, so do bear that in mind as well. So we'll just go through it and I will flag up anything, any warnings and things like that throughout the video. So the stereotypical things I hear the most are long, thin fingers are for piano or bass because you can get sort of blong, 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 or blah, blah, blah. You can play like Rachmaninoff pieces and things with massive chords in there. I've not got massive hands. I look at this, they're not that big, and I play piano. Yeah, there's limitations to me playing piano sometimes. I can't play those big Rachmaninoff chords, but I still play it, and that's because I love it. I don't like some of the other instruments as much, and I won't be able to put the time and effort in that I do with piano. I find piano great for teaching. I really enjoy playing it. And even for the instruments I teach that aren't piano, having piano there helps me so much. So, there's other stereotypes before I start talking about other personal things. For me, the stereotypes of things like girls play flutes, boys play trumpets, or whatever. All these gendered stereotypes. That doesn't matter. One of my best friends is a female trumpet player, and one of my best friends through school is a flute player, and he's a boy. Doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. Just play the instrument you want to play, is my biggest concern, because there's some instruments where the genders don't exist, like saxophone. I don't think is very gendered. It's just you often get comments, I think, actually, speaking of that, the big baritone saxophone, if you're sort of a smaller petite female playing it, for example, I guess me, because I'm only like 5 foot nothing really, if I was to play that, I'd probably get comments going, oh, that instrument's bigger than you, blah, blah. And you get that, oh, you shouldn't be playing that, that should basically be on a 6 foot tall man or something. Oh, how do you put the air through that instrument and stuff? The thing is, it doesn't actually matter about how big you are to play that instrument. You just train to put the right amount of air through it. You build up your lung capacity. Well, you exercise it so it can do that. You buy a good enough strap to be able to safely have the instrument around you. You want a harness so it goes like around you, and then you're fine. It doesn't matter. There was a lad at my school. I'll not name any names or anything, but he came into school. He's quite big. He's always been like very tall, to the point where one of my grandparents thought he was actually a teacher at the school when he was only in year 9 and I was in year 11. She thought he was a teacher. So that gauges how like tall he was. And he started at school, he was already playing like viola or something like that, and he started then playing the trumpet in year 7, so he was about 11 at this age, and he got to grade 3, I think, and then all of his comments in his exam feedback was, you're overblowing on the trumpet, you're putting too much air into it. So then he got told to move on to tuba. So he instantly was categorised by his size as to what instrument he should be playing, which I get that to some degree, but I've also seen young children playing tuba. They have like a little stand that sits on the floor to help hold the tuba up, because obviously it's a massive instrument, and if you're really small, that's a bit awkward to play. But there's things that are in place to help younger people and smaller people play instruments, is what I'm trying to say. So just because you're big, it doesn't mean you should play the tuba. Play what you want to play. That said, I personally struggle with playing the guitar, because the extra couple of strings I found really difficult with chords, moving around the fingerboard. I just found it really tricky. My hands aren't massive. But bass guitar I find loads easier. I'm not amazing at it, but I do roughly know my way around it. And it's only 4 strings to think about, which goes back to my roots of playing violin, I guess. So yeah, I guess in a way, but there's also just some instruments, I guess, that people play and it just clicks with them, like literally clicks with them. So again, there's that way of, you know, you saying certain instruments were made for that person. There's some people that just pick up an instrument and they're away with it, you know, and they progress really well. I've got some students that they start piano lessons and within a few lessons they're already, you know, where the average person would be in 2 to 3 months, but they've achieved it already within the first few weeks. So there's that as well. So there's the physical aspect of it, and I guess the you know how to play it aspect, and you're willing to play it and willing to learn, and it just clicks with you naturally. Just like some people can't cook very well at all, but some people naturally almost know how to cook. They sort of know what herbs and spices should go in all these meals. And there's people that sit in between that. They're not completely incapable of cooking. They don't know, but they're willing to learn along the way. And that's very much like it with musicians. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Any more on this, again, pop stuff in the comments and all that. But yeah, cheers, bye.